Welcome into another edition of the Janesville Jet Coaches Show right here on the Big AM 1380 WBEL. You can hear us online, thebigam1380.com, the TuneIn radio app, and the new AM 1380 app as well. So you can get us a number of ways wherever you're listening. I appreciate you dialing in for tonight's show. We'll be joined a little bit later on by defenseman Zach Yoder. I already like Zach because he's from Woodstock, Georgia. I'm from Woodstock, Illinois, and there's not a lot of Woodstocks. I know Woodstock, New York. But I'm excited to talk to Zach a little bit later on, and the head coach, of course, Joe Dibble, with us here again this week. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Let's jump right into things with the Jets, who are first in the North, top-ranked team here in the NAHL. What does that mean to you as a coach, to this team as a unit, to have that top ranking here in the league?
You know what? To be honest, it doesn't really mean anything until the end. So if we can come April, May, say we're ranked number one, it'll be an achievement. Then right now, it just goes to show that we're playing pretty good hockey right now. We're consistent, but we're nowhere out of the rat race quite yet. So we've got just puts a bigger target on our back for everybody else.
And that was I guess going to be my follow up is, all right, might not mean as much to you guys right now, but to other teams like Keystone coming in this weekend who are at the bottom of the division, it probably means more to them going on the road saying, hey, let's knock off the top dog here.
Exactly, and we've got to just kind of look at it as everybody's got that mentality against us right now. So it makes us practice and play that much harder every day. So,
how has practice been? Have you liked what you've seen in practice out of this group here the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we're consistent. That's the biggest thing. We all understand that we've got to get better every day, and we're holding each other accountable, and we're pushing each other so that we're improving not only individually but as a team come Friday, Saturday.
Do you you guys have been on a long road trip here, 9 straight road games you guys have been, had been away from home before this past week here. You had the road game in Austin and then came back and played them for a couple. We'll get into that series in just a minute here. But do you approach practice differently when you're facing a lot of road games?
You know what? It depends on the travel. Like when we go out to Keystone or Johnstown, Pennsylvania, it's a lot longer travel schedule.
Next week is going to be a little bit unique.
Yeah. So we might, lower the intensity a little bit at the beginning of the week, in shorter practices, knowing that we're going to have a long bus ride and we're going to get off the ice or get off the bus at some point on that trip and get a practice in on Thursday, and then we'll get a pregame skate in on Friday. So we don't necessarily change too much. We might lower the amount of time we're on the ice, for those longer trips, and just kind of keeping as much energy in the system as we possibly can.
Let's talk Joe Dibble, head coach of the Janesville Jets. Let's talk a little bit about that series that you guys just come off of with Austin up there midweek, and then back here at the Ice Arena, and you guys split over the weekend, and you guys were able to get one there. And just talk a little bit about that series, because I know it was an intense series and a really tough, hard-fought series when it was all said and done.
You know what it was from game 1 all the way to game 3. They're very well coached. They're disciplined within their structure. They compete extremely hard, and they're very physical. So when you play a team like Austin, you have to expect that you're going to get hit. They're going to score goals. Their special teams are going to be good. So for us, it was the time the puck dropped on Wednesday from the time that buzzer went off on Saturday. It's all 3 games. We got exactly what we thought we were going to get, and that's a hard-nosed hockey team that wasn't going to take anything off or any shift off through that entire game, and they were going to be sound within their structure, and that just goes to show on how they're coached on their staff over there. So we told the guys what we were going to get, and Austin definitely came out and delivered exactly what we expected.
And I know things did get interesting in the one game, and I won't ask you for details here on the air. That's an off-air conversation. But what do you tell your guys after a tough loss where some penalties do come into play late in the game? How do you address that with your club?
We always tell our guys don't worry about the officiating. Let us coaches worry about that. And sometimes it's tough to tell the guys to just overlook it because they're the ones out there on the ice. So we just have to tell them at times, you know what, just bite your tongue, just like when you're mad at us and you don't agree with what we're telling you. It's keep everything under your breath. Don't let us hear you, and just go back there and go out to work. So for us, we just have to continue to relay that message. It's don't worry about what we can't control, and just go out there and play hard and do what we can to control the situations that we can.
Well, you guys have controlled the win-loss record pretty well here so far, 14-6-1, 29 points in 21 games. That's points per game, and just looking at things, you guys are at the top of the league here. 3 on the road next week. So you've got some home games here this weekend, and we'll get into the matchup with Keystone in a second. But what's the approach next week, knowing that you've got a few games on the road in kind of a unique week? What is the approach going to be next week?
You know what? It's one of those deals where none of us have really had a schedule kind of like this for this week, where we are playing a Wednesday game and then going straight from that game to another location. We've played week games, but we've always come back to Janesville. So now we're just going to continue on the bus right through all the way out to Pennsylvania. So for us, it's ultimately, you would think the holidays, Thanksgiving, you get to give the guys a couple days off, go home and get some turkey. So I think for us, our only change is going to be to try to find somewhere we can get turkey sandwiches on the way to Pennsylvania on Thanksgiving there. But otherwise, it's the same thing. We have to go to work and accomplish what we've been working on all week. We'll practice Monday, Tuesday. We'll play Wednesday night. Thursday morning, somewhere along the drive, we'll probably stop, whether it's at Notre Dame or maybe Ohio State, one of the Division I programs, and just jump on the ice Thanksgiving Day, and then hop off and continue our trip out there. So won't be too many changes, just get a lot of fluids, taking care of our bodies, and getting the proper rest that week.
So that's a pretty cool, from that aspect, that's kind of a cool thing to go skate on that Division I ice. Obviously, that's a goal for a lot of these players, but you guys are able to set that up. Talk a little bit about how does that work? I mean, you just get in touch with the different arenas, the different colleges, and say, hey, this is what we've got going on. Can we use your ice? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, you know what? It's just us reaching out to the college coaches, and then they kind of set it up for us. We have to pay for whatever the hour ice rate is,
sure,
and whatnot, but it works out pretty well, because not only are we getting to skate on the ice, the coaches take the time and they give our guys a tour of their locker room and their gym, and then they talk to them and tell them, what it takes to be a Buckeye or a Badger or play for Notre Dame or anything like that. So it's good for our guys. They hear it coming out of our mouths as coaches and staffs, but to go in front of those college coaches and practice in front of them on their ice and sit in their video rooms and hear those coaches tell our guys exactly what they're looking for and what it takes. It just brings a whole new experience. And we're fortunate enough to, we do it quite a bit. We take probably 5-6 visits a year with our travel schedule. So our guys get to see all those different environments and programs as well. So.
Is that something, Joe Dibble, head coach of the Janesville Jets, it is the Janesville Jets coaches show here on WBEL, the Big AM 1380. Will you, as a coach, and maybe all head coaches do this differently, will you close off the practice, or or if their coaches want to kind of hang around and watch you guys work, do you let them do that? Is that something that's even up to you guys, being on their spot?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really. If they're not going to come, they're not going to come. If they're going to come, they're going to. We don't necessarily get a say in that. But I mean, for me and in the way we do things here in Janesville, if those college coaches wanted to come run our practice, I would let them come out there and do that, because ultimately that's what we're here for. That's what the Jets are for. It's to put these players in front of coaches and in arenas or where scouts, wherever it is, that they're going to get seen and be able to have an opportunity to play at that level and get recruited. So whatever we can do extra for them, we definitely jump into that.
That's a pretty cool thing. I didn't realize that took place, so I'm glad we're able to learn and tell folks about that. That's a pretty unique thing that you guys are able to do here in the NAHL. Let's look at Keystone here coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday night. The Ice Miners in town, and you guys beat them a couple weeks back, 5-0, 2-1. Obviously, very different games on the scoreboard. Tell us about Keystone. What sort of things did you learn? What sort of things do you take into this matchup?
Yeah, you know what? When we were in Keystone, they play on literally the biggest sheet of ice I've ever seen in my career, in my life, actually,
okay,
as a player and coach. So taking things away from the way they played on their ice is going to be pointless. I mean, they're going to play a little different when they come to our rink, going from the biggest sheet in our league to arguably the smallest sheet in the league. It's going to be definitely a different team. They're going to seem a lot faster and things like that, because it's such a smaller, confined area that plays happen in tighter areas. So that time and space that we had out there and that they had is definitely going to be gone when we come to Janesville this weekend.
Does that give you guys an advantage in this matchup, or is that you play on this ice, you're used to this ice? But with their style, where does the advantage then lie with that smaller sheet?
Yeah, you know what? We definitely, I would say, have a little bit of an advantage. But for them, they had the advantage, a couple weeks ago, and we were out there. But it might seem like playing ping pong or
Air
hockey. There you go. Or pinball or anything
Sure.
like that. That's what, when Keystone comes here, it's going to feel like there's 10 pucks on the ice. That's how much it'll be, flopping around and going from stick to stick and whatnot. So I would say we definitely have the advantage, and we need to capitalize on that right off the get-go.
Talk a little bit about, because your schedule's been a little bit screwy. I know that they have a weird schedule this week. Thursday they're in Springfield, and then they come up here, and so that's how I was looking at the thing. I thought, all right, well, they're in Springfield on Thursday, so that's a quick turnaround for them to be playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Springfield's no short trip to Janesville, so that's got to be a nice thing for you guys. I would imagine that they might be a little bit worn down.
Yeah, you know what, and you would think too it would be on the back end. Come up to Janesville and then hit Springfield on the way home back out there. But for us, you would think, they're going to be tired and whatnot. But the schedule that these young men play through on a hockey season, we call it a grind. I mean, they whether it's they're on a bus, they're on a plane, they're in Pennsylvania, they're in Alaska. It just seems like every day we're in a rink somewhere. And Monday it might be in Pennsylvania, and Tuesday it might be in Wisconsin. It just, you never know. So it's definitely a grueling travel schedule, that's for sure.
You guys went 8-1 on that road stretch, and then splitting this past weekend here. I know fans will be happy to have you home here again this weekend, and at home all of December, and those are division games. So the way the schedule played out is very weird, but that's got to be nice for you guys with the position you've put yourself in. I think that home stretch becomes pretty nice for you guys to be able to have an entire month at home, being that you're in the position you're in. Is that a time where you're looking at, all right, if we get through the next 2 weeks the way we've been playing, we can really set ourselves up in that month of December?
Yes. I mean, when you look at it and you go, you're playing in front of your home crowd, you're sleeping in your own bed, you get to stick to your same routine for the players. It makes life a little bit easier, and they're not in a hotel room one night, they're sleeping on the floor of the bus the next night. So yes, there's definitely, for us, we're going, okay, if we can go, 600-700 on this next stretch of December, we definitely put ourselves not only in a good position at the time, but for the whole season from what we've done so far. But then after that, we're back on the road again for a month. So
right, yeah,
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But it'll definitely be nice for us. It's hopefully the crowds are. Last weekend was great. It's that extra energy it gives the guys is huge. So hopefully we're looking at it going to have a successful month, heading into another month-long road trip that should give us that energy and whatnot to finish that trip.
Progression of this team. What's been the biggest progression from week one?
Honestly, like as far as on the ice, it's tough to say that's what's progressed the most, because we've been pretty consistent all year. But ultimately, I would say just the character, the brotherhood, as we call it, watching these guys become the brothers that they have, and as close as they are, and it's really been fun to watch the fact that it's not about them individually, it's about the team. And you hear a lot of coaches, no matter what sport it is, they always say you have to have that, but to watch it and see it's been really, really fun, and it's part of the reason why we've done what we've done to this point. It's in that locker room, any one of those guys will go to absolute war for the guy sitting next to him, and it's been fun to watch that. And that's what's won us hockey games, where we've gone into plenty of third periods in games being down a goal or being down 2 or even 3 goals, but they just won't quit on each other. So.
Well, we're going to talk to one of those guys here in just a moment. Zach Yoder in the studio today after we wrap up here with head coach Joe Dibble. Janesville Jets home this weekend, Flat Screen Friday. It's a discount day as well on Friday. Get you set up for Saturday's action. What can you tell us about Yoder?
You know what? Yodes is he's he's our guy that he loves to go shopping at Goodwill. So when you talk to him, it's when you see Zach Yoder, he's one of those guys that you never know what he's going to show up to the rink in. He's an absolutely phenomenal human being. He's a great teammate. He's one of those guys where he just loves the game. He loves to be kind of that goofy guy where he's gonna walk in with a pair of Zubas and an Abercrombie sweater on or something like that. So for him, it's just as a player, he's kind of our steady Eddie defensive D-man that's very reliable on the back end for us. He looks a lot more intimidating than he really is with his size, but he's definitely a team guy. And the one thing that nobody might know about him is just where he likes to do his shopping at the Goodwill.
Well, now we do know. That's excellent. So we will talk to Zach Yoder here in just a short moment on the Janesville Jets Coaches Show. He'll be coming into the studio here, and we'll get you set up for the weekend. Let you know a little bit about the defenseman, number 12 from Woodstock, Georgia. Zach Yoder is coming up next. Coach, good luck this weekend, and a happy Thanksgiving early. We'll be checking in here again in a couple weeks. So good luck on the road trip as well, and safe travels to you.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's Joe Dibble, head coach of the Janesville Jets, joining us here. Janesville Jets Coaches Show, and we'll be back in just a minute with defenseman Zach Yoder right here on the big AM 1380. Back here on the Janesville Jets Coaches Show, Big AM 1380, the big AM 1380.com. It's WBEL. You can hear us on the TuneIn radio app and AM 1380 app as well on your Android, so you can get us a lot of different ways. We heard from Joe Dibble, the head coach, and now we talk to defenseman Zach Yoder, number 12 on the sweater. Zach Yoder, Yodes, as Coach Dibble has referred to you already here. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not bad at all. I always venture a guess at nicknames because in hockey, I firmly believe that they're mostly the same, and adding an S to the end of the name, like Yodes, is generally something that happens. Has anybody gone the route of like Yoda or something different?
I normally get Yoda when someone first meets me, but it always goes to Yodes after that.
Okay. All right. So Yodes. All right. We got that. We got that set now and out of the way. You're from Woodstock, Georgia. I'm from Woodstock, Illinois. I did not know there were that many Woodstocks out there. I knew of Woodstock, New York, so I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that. When you're in Georgia, though, how do you get into hockey in Georgia? That doesn't seem to me a hockey kind of state. How long have you been? Have you been in Georgia forever?
Yeah, actually, it's not a hotbed for hockey, but my neighbors growing up were from Philadelphia. So, and then there was a new roller rink that opened up, and they were gonna enter their kid into the league, and they asked if I wanted to join, and I said, yeah, might as well. And I think at the age 8, I switched over to the local ice rink, and all went uphill from there.
All right, good. So if your buddies were from the Philadelphia area, did that make you a Flyers fan with them, or?
Yes, I was a Flyers fan for a while because I always went down there to watch the games and everything. And then my uncle's from New Jersey, so I switched to a New Jersey fan. And I was a big fan of Brodeur, and I've been a Jersey fan ever since.
Okay, all right. I was curious about the fandom there because, again, not only is Georgia not necessarily a hotbed for hockey, but I was wondering if your fandom would go out east or if it would go somewhere south, although I don't know that the Florida teams draw a ton of interest at this point. I know they're working on that.
Right, yeah. And we had the Thrashers there for a while, but no longer there.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. So we've sorted that stuff out here. Now, you're one of the defensemen on this team, and Coach Dibble kind of called you that reliable guy on the back end. And with your frame, you're the biggest defenseman I've talked to here yet so far because I've talked to a few defensemen, 6'4", 205. Do you pride yourself on a physical style, or what's your style of play back there?
Not so much as physical. I just like to move the puck north, get it to my forwards, put it in their hands, and let them do their job. I guess my biggest asset is my stick because it's hard for people to get around me. That's one thing I'm trying to work on is my physical play, and so this year I've kind of been more focused on it. So I think I've been more physical this year than I have previously. So.
The one thing that jumped out to me right away was looking at just kind of comparing numbers from last year to this year. Last year, your first year here in the league with the Jets, and I look at numbers. That's kind of what we do in this business is we like to look at numbers when we can. So you went from a negative 14 on your plus minus last year to a positive 12 right now. Do you look at numbers? Is that something a jump that you noticed?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I mean, last year being a negative 14, it was definitely something that was nagging at me, and which wasn't very good, and I knew it. And then this year it was kind of something that I was focused on is to not be a negative 14 again.
Sure.
So this year is, just wanted to be shut down and make sure that not as many goals were scored while I was on the ice, and I think it's paid off so far.
What's your communication like with your netminder, whoever it happens to be there on any given night? I imagine that being on the back end and you seeming to be, well, maybe you're not. Maybe you are still an offensive defenseman, but what's your communication like on the back end there?
Just tell my goalies, say, let me know what's going on, especially when I'm going back to pick the puck up, and because I can't see what's going on behind me, and we just let me know what, if I'm screening them or what else is going on, but other than that, not much.
Is it your job to clear guys out from the crease that are trying to get in there and create those blind spots?
Yeah, that's kind of the defenseman's job, to make sure that our goalies can see the puck coming from the point or wherever they shoot from. So we just got to clear the guys out.
Talk about special teams here. Zach Yoder, defenseman, number 12 here on the sweater for the Janesville Jets. In terms of the special teams, the kill, the power play, are you much part of the power play, or are you strictly a kill guy?
I'd like to be a part of the power play, but
well, you lobby for it.
I'm gonna lobby for it.
Okay.
But no, I'm not much. I don't play on the power play. I'm maybe like 10 seconds at the end of the power play. But I like to think I'm one of the go-to guys for the penalty kill. I don't know if I am, but but like we've got a decent penalty kill this year so far, and I don't think it's the best numbers that Coach Largent would like to have. So hopefully we can get a few more penalty kills in here and get our numbers up.
In terms of some of the other numbers, I've noticed already, and I'm sure you've noticed this. A couple goals, 6 assists already, which is those are both up from last year. Where are you finding those opportunities this year? How is that different from last year?
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to focus on being a little more offensive this year, seeing that last year my numbers were a little low. And then I guess the opportunities are just presenting themselves. Like the 2 goals I had, they were great plays by the forwards, and I got to give credit to all my other teammates. But and they're just, I guess I'm kind of putting myself in better positions this year,
taking advantage of the opportunities that are there.
Right.
Is the aggressive style that you guys are playing this? You guys are playing a faster, more offensive style. Do you like that compared to what you were playing last year? I know it's a little bit different than last year.
Yeah, I like the faster style because you're always in the play, and you're always you're not like sitting back and waiting for them to come to you. You're going to them and putting pressure on them, so it's fun.
Do you like the forechecking side of things and really pushing the action that way, or do you kind of sit back and react and use the stick and that sort of thing?
I kind of sit back, and I try to stay up, but I just kind of sit back and let my stick do most of the work, and then if it doesn't work out, then I use my body and so on.
Who's your general line mate out there on the defense? Who are you usually out there with?
The past couple of weeks I've been playing with Janko, and me and him we've been playing pretty well together.
Grandpa Jenks, right?
Grandpa Jenks.
Grandpa Jenks, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the past couple of weeks I've been with him, and then this past weekend I was with Raider for the first night, and then the second night we changed it up, and I was with Hutton, one of the newer guys. So
okay, all right. Talking with Zach Yoder here, defenseman for the Janesville Jets, and all right, some of the softer questions now that we've ground our way through the hockey stuff here. I've asked everybody some of these questions. Some of them are new. We already sorted out your fandom, so you were a New Jersey fan, previously a Philly fan. Movie, hockey and otherwise, what's the top movie for you?
Miracle, obviously, as being a hockey player. And then my second favorite movie is probably Happy Gilmore.
Okay, excellent. You might not be the first one to say that either. It's maybe it might have even been last week that came up. So I think Drew Callen said the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. All right, your music. What's on the iPod most frequently?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm all over the map. I go from 80s to 90s to country, but I'd say country is probably the most that I listen to. Okay, well, you've got the stash that could work for country or rock. I mean, either way, right. You've got that going on here. So the Stash Bash is still going on. Yeah, it's all November. So we're just trying to raise money for prostate cancer, and the whole league's got a thing going on. And right now, I think we've got raised like $2,800, and then all the other teams in the league combined raised like $500. So wow, okay. I mean, tip of the cap to you guys. Apparently, you've got a much more supportive fan base and guys who can grow facial hair. Exactly. Probably helps as well. So are you? I mean, you've got the full Manchu going on, so you've got to be one of the front runners right now, right? Do you have any idea where it's at? I think Smith. I think Alex Smith is in one of the front runners. I think he's got more money donated to him than all the other teams in the league combined. So wow, so that's, I think pretty impressive. He's winning it. All right. I'll check in with Natalie on the official numbers here, and figure that out as well. Outside of hockey, what are you doing when you're not on the ice? Oh man, I don't know. Have you ever been off of the ice? Yeah, I'm just hanging out with my friends. Just working out, just trying to get better at hockey, and then I like to say that I'm working on learning the guitar. I'm trying to teach myself how to play the guitar, but I think my billet family is kind of not really liking it because I'm not very good.
Good. I tried that once years ago and I was no good, so I quit. That's not anything I've been able to do. Well, good luck with that. I hope you're able to do it. That'd be a cool thing. Chicks dig a guy with a guitar. After the Jets, what do you know what you've got lined up here? Do you have some irons in the fire, or where are those things at this point?
It's still up in the air. Obviously I want to go to Division I, and so hopefully I can earn a scholarship by the end of the year, and we'll see from there. All
right. Zach Yoder with us here. Thanksgiving, you guys are going to be spending that on a bus, so I'm sure you're pumped up about that. What's the best Thanksgiving food item?
Food item?
Food item. Best Thanksgiving food.
Oh, I'm going to have to go with turkey.
Turkey?
Turkey, yeah.
Are you slather it in gravy? Are you a white meat, dark meat guy?
Dark meat, slathered in gravy with mashed potatoes.
Okay, excellent. Pre and post game. What's the go-to for you on the pre and post? Are you one of those health nuts like the rest of your team?
Oh, on the road or at home?
Anything. You've got your pregame meal, your postgame meal of your choice.
Oh, okay. My pregame meal is normally like something light, like noodles or some grilled chicken or something, and then my postgame meal is just anything with a lot of calories.
I like that. That's good. All right. Let's do one more thing here. This one I haven't asked anybody yet here. All right. You only get one movie or TV show the rest of your life.
Wow.
Only one the rest of your life. Let's go TV show because we've asked you about movies already here. So you only get one show, and you can have all the seasons of any show, whatever you want access to. You only get one the rest of your life.
Wow, that's tough.
I know it's deep. That's a deep question. I know.
I've recently been watching The Blacklist, and it's very good. So I'm gonna have to go with The Blacklist.
All right, I have not seen that yet. Is that on Netflix?
It's on. The first season's on Netflix, and then the second season just ended airing on TV.
Okay, all right, that's excellent. All right, so I'm gonna have to check that one out. You're one of the younger guys on this team. I noticed that. No, you're not.
No.
You're one of the elder statesmen here. Look at 94 comes before 95 and 96, doesn't it? Okay, so as one of the elder statesmen here, then do you take a leadership role with this group?
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of the older guys, and I've been around the block a couple times, so I just try and show them the ropes and show them what to do and what not to do, and so hopefully I'm doing a good job. I don't know.
All right. Well, your coach seems happy with you and seems happy with the way this team is coming together. So I think that definitely speaks to the leadership group, and you'd certainly be included in that here. Zach, any? I guess we know about the Stash Bash. We know where that's going here. And I guess that's really all I've got here for you. So,
all right.
So good luck the rest of the season here, and certainly stay healthy the rest of the way, and I'll keep firing them at the net because they're finding it this year.
All right, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, thank you, Zach. It's Zach Yoder here, defenseman for the Janesville Jets. Again, number 12 on the sweater, and you can see him and the rest of the Jets this weekend. It is a flat screen Friday. Just get to the game, and you could win a 32-inch flat screen TV from Sam's Club, and it is discount day Friday as well. So on Friday, you buy a ticket for Saturday for just $5. So get down to the Janesville Ice Arena to make that happen. The Jets will be on the road next week, so get your fix now before the month of December when they are back home. I want to thank Natalie Toby setting things up here. She does each and every week. Joe Dibble, the head coach, Zach Yoder here to my left. We will be back next week with another edition of the show. Or not next week, excuse me, December 3rd. We'll be back with another edition of the show, and we will talk to you then. Janesville Jets Coaches Show on the Big AM 1380 and the Big AM 1380